Welcome back to TPS. We're all really great at some things and really bad at others. But for athletes who became coaches, some of them were not actually really good at doing that, even though they were great players. On this list, we talk about 10 of them. I'm Justin Fraction, and today we present 10 legendary athletes who failed as a head coach GM. At TPS, we post videos every single day, so don't forget to click the subscribe button to subscribe. Then click the notification bell to be notified when we post a new video. And don't forget to leave your ideas for videos down below. You never know, we might use one and give you a shout out. Number 10, Phil Housley. Even though he was a defenseman, Hockey Hall of Famer Phil Housley retired as the all-time leader in points for an American-born NHLer. Housley recorded 338 career goals for 1,232 points and turned the Buffalo Sabres into one of hockey's top teams during the 80s. The former Sabres star returned to the organization in 2017 with GM Jason Botterill introducing him as the new head coach. Despite boatloads of talent led by young star Jack Eichel, Housley wasn't able to get the group to mesh together. In 2 seasons on the job, Housley finished with a woeful 58, 84, and 22 record. The Sabres fired him after the 2018-19 season, and Housley joined the long list of great athletes that couldn't get it done as a coach. Number 9, Alan Trammell. The Hall of Fame shortstop led the Detroit Tigers to a World Series championship in 1984. Trammell was named to 6 All-Star games and won 4 Gold Glove awards. He finished with a .285 career batting average and 2,365 hits. Trammell was brought back to the Motor City after his playing career, taking over as manager in the 2003 season. That season, Detroit posted a horrible 43 wins against a ridiculous 119 losses. Trammell lasted 2 more seasons before getting fired after the 2003 campaign. His final record, 186 wins and 300 losses. Man, in just 3 years on the job, the Tigers lost almost as many games as there are days in a year. Kinda, sorta. Bottom line, he was a terrible manager. Number 8, Magic Johnson. One of America's most influential athletes of his time, Magic Johnson led the Los Angeles Lakers to another era of greatness in the 80s. The legendary point guard won 3 MVP awards and led the Lakers to 5 NBA championships between 1980 and 88. The 12-time All-Star tragically had to retire after being diagnosed with HIV. Johnson thankfully survived and would come out of retirement to play another season. He was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2002. Johnson, now part of the LA Dodgers ownership group, rejoined the Lakers in 2017 to take over as team president of basketball operation. Johnson always had a good relationship with the Buss family ownership, wanted to help Jeannie revive the team. Johnson's first big move was drafting media darling point guard Lonzo Ball with the number 2 pick in 2017, and the results have yet to show. Johnson hit the jackpot by successfully recruiting and signing prize free agent LeBron James in 2018. Johnson got the best player in the NBA to sign with his team. Now he just has to build around James. Well, the first year with LeBron was a disaster. Johnson clashed with head coach Luke Walton and refused to make a change. The whole Anthony Davis trade saga hurt the team throughout the season, and the Lakers missed the playoffs. Johnson, out of nowhere, announced his resignation as team president. Probably smart to leave a messy situation where the once proud Lakers franchise has become a laughingstock. But because he was only there for 2 years, we can't put him much higher than this. But yeah, his whole tenure as Lakers president was quite forgettable. Once you forget that he somehow and some way landed LeBron James. Yeah. Number 7, Pete Rose. Baseball's all-time leader in hits will never make it to the Hall of Fame due to his infamous gambling scandal, but that shouldn't overshadow a historic career where Rose earned 17 All-Star selections, won 3 World Series championships, and recorded 4,256 hits. Rose became manager of the Cincinnati Reds for the final 41 games of the 1984 season. He would hold down the managerial job throughout 1989, and though he recorded a winning record of 412 and 373, the Reds never made the playoffs under Rose. Cincinnati won 89 games under Rose's guidance in 1985, but that was the most they would achieve. We should also mention that his gambling scandal was going on while Rose was managing the Reds. So yeah, he probably should have thought twice about managing after his playing career had ended. Number 6, Elgin Baylor. The Hall of Fame small forward led the Los Angeles Lakers to an NBA championship in 1972. Baylor was also an 11-time All-Star who averaged a whopping 27.4 points and 13.5 rebounds per game in his excellent playing career. Baylor failed as both a head coach and an executive, however. He coached New Orleans Jazz from 1974-75 to 78-79, compiling a woeful 86 wins against 135 losses. Baylor somehow managed to hold on to the Los Angeles Clippers general manager job for 22 years, from 1986 to 2008. The Clippers' record in that span? A horrible 607 and 1,153. And wait for it, they only won a single playoff series over that time frame. Baylor passed on many all-time greats in the draft, including Scottie Pippen and Kobe Bryant. He also wasted the first overall pick in 1998 on Michael Olowokande. Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, and Paul Pierce were all available. How he stayed on that long as GM of the Clippers is beyond all of us. But oh well, at least he enjoyed a stellar playing career. Let's just try to forget about his time as a coach and executive. Number 5, Ted Williams. He's one of the greatest baseball players in history, maybe like top 5 all-time greatest. The Boston Red Sox icon was named to 19 All-Star games, won 2 AL MVPs, 6 AL batting titles, and recorded a jaw-dropping 344 career batting average. Williams is widely regarded as the greatest player that did not win a World Series. That said, Williams' tenure as manager of the Washington Senators' Texas Rangers franchise was far from a success. In 4 years on the job, Williams' team went just 273 and 364 for a winning percentage of 429. This final season as manager saw the Rangers win just 54 games against 100 losses. Not a great way to go out. Thankfully for Williams, he'll always be remembered most for his greatness as a player rather than his struggles as a manager. Number 4, ISIAH Thomas. The Hall of Fame point guard and 12-time All-Star led the Detroit Pistons to a pair of NBA championships in his playing career. Few dominated like ISIAH Thomas on the court, but boy does he probably wish he never took up coaching or front office work. Let's start with coaching. Thomas coached the Indiana Pacers for 3 years and compiled a respectable 131 and 115 record. Then he was brought on to the New York Knicks, taking over as team president in 2003. He was also head coach for 2 seasons. As the Knicks head coach in 2006-07 and 2007-08, Thomas won a pathetic 56 and 108 in 2 seasons. For his executive work, he threw money at fairly average players, like $30 million over 5 years for Jerome James, and he also handed Eddie Curry a 6-year deal worth $60 million. In 2007, Thomas acquired Zach Randolph and 2 players in a blockbuster deal that saw him sacrifice All-Star Steve Francis and the ultra-relatable Channing Frye. Randolph was traded to the Los Angeles Clippers just over a year later. And the Knicks missed out on a chance to take All-Star big man LaMarcus Aldridge with the number 2 pick in 2006 because they surrendered it to the Chicago Bulls in a trade for Eddie Curry. Following a dismal 2007-08 season, Thomas was removed from his team president position and fired as head coach. That was probably for the better from his standpoint. He just wasn't cut out for it. Number 3, Bart Starr. The Green Bay Packers legend was the team's quarterback from 1956 to 71. He led them to 5 NFL championships and 2 Super Bowls. Starr and head coach Vince Lombardi turned the Packers into a historic organization that changed the entire football landscape forever. Where would the NFL be without these two? That's a good question, but we have a better one. Why the heck did this guy take up coaching? As great as he was on the field, Starr just wasn't cut out for roaming the sidelines. He coached the Packers from 1975 to 83, posting a terrible record of 52, 76, and 3. The Packers only had 1 winning season under Starr's leadership, and he only got them to the playoffs once. Starr was fired after the 1983 season, and he admitted to a Milwaukee crowd in 2013 that coaching was his greatest mistake. Starr said he didn't plan to and wasn't prepared for coaching. At least he's honest, but hey, all those trophies he won as a QB are what we remember, not the frustrating coaching tenure. Number 2, Wayne Gretzky. He is the greatest player in NHL history, period. The Great One holds practically every major goals, assists, and total points record, none of which will be broken. Gretzky led the Edmonton Oilers to 4 Stanley Cups in the 1980s, but he grew the popularity of the NHL in the United States when he was traded to the Los Angeles Kings. Most of Gretzky's records since his 1999 retirement stand to this day. Did we mention he's the greatest hockey player ever? Yes, we did, about 30 seconds ago. Good. Gretzky almost never fell on the ice, but when he was head coach of the Phoenix Coyotes, now that was different. Gretzky took on his first head coaching gig in the 2005-06 season after the 2004-05 lockout. Despite having a good amount of talent on his roster, Gretzky just couldn't make it work as head coach. Phoenix never registered more than 83 points in a season with Gretzky at the helm. In his 4 years there, the Coyotes compiled a 143, 161, and 24 record. Dave Tippett took over as the bench boss in 2009-10, and wouldn't you know it, he led the Coyotes to the postseason. So yeah, coaching just wasn't the right gig for the goat of hockey. And number 1, Michael Jordan. You can't be the best at everything. Michael Jordan is unquestionably the greatest basketball player of all time. Some folks like to say that he's even the greatest athlete ever. I mean, it's hard to argue against it. He revolutionized the game, took basketball's popularity to new heights, and led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships. Few dispute MJ's status as the GOAT of basketball, but he's also among the WOATs, or worst of all time when it comes to running a front office. Before Jordan came out of retirement to play 2 years for the Washington Wizards, he was named the team president of basketball operations in 2000. Needless to say, it was nothing short of a colossal failure. Jordan infamously took Kwame Brown with the first overall pick in 2001, passing on all-stars like Joe Johnson and Pau Gasol. Jordan also had to buy out the contract of an overpaid and past his prime Rod Strickland. He also made a questionable trade by moving out Richard "Rip" Hamilton, a future three-time All-Star for the Detroit Pistons. Unsurprisingly, Jordan was fired following his playing career. In 2006, Jordan became a minority owner for the Charlotte Bobcats, now Hornets, and became the team president. And well, most of his draft picks have been straight up swings and misses. The list is long. It includes many all-time busts like Adam Morrison, DJ Augustine, Gerald Henderson, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Frank Kaminsky, and Cody Zeller. His only home run pick was All-Star point guard Kemba Walker. Cool, one great pick in over a decade. MJ also traded away top players like Gerald Wallace and Emeka Okafor. By the way, his Hornets have made the playoffs just once since MJ took over as owner, and they haven't won a single postseason series. So yeah, he's the greatest athlete of all time, who also happens to be a very, very bad GM. Which other legendary athletes failed as head coach or GM? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.